Dave can do it. Yeah, diddy die, diddy die, die, die. 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 Stand up. Good morning, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Oh, that was nice. I am Leslie Zucker, and I am the music coordinator here at Congregation Beth Torah, and I am so thrilled to be with you this morning. The rabbi is ill today, so we're going to add him to the Misha Berach list a little bit later. But we're all here together, and we all look pretty good, so we're going to have, pardon? He was here yesterday. We start our day, we begin with a prayer of gratitude, which I think is one of the most amazing things that we do as part of the Jewish tradition is before you even get out of bed, you are asked to say thank you and give gratitude. And it's a really powerful way. I don't know if any of you have this practice. I fall in and out of it. And when I'm in it, my days are better. I just get up and say thank you. Sometimes I do the little Hebrew prayer because I don't necessarily know that as well as English. And it makes me, I'm just saying words, but inside my soul knows that I'm saying thank you, even if my brain's like, well, I don't want to say thank you this morning. It's a really powerful way to start the day. So we're going to start it. Moda Ani on page 186 in the brackets. Oh, right. Put your electronics on silent. When God calls, we don't need to know. God will call back. Modehani lefanecha, melech chai we turn together to page 195, reminder that we're doing numbers in the brackets, page 195, up at the top. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom, you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware we would lack the strength to stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai, rofe chol basar, umafli la'asot. Elohai Neshama on page 196. Elohai Neshama shenatata b'teorahi. Elohai Neshama shenatata b'teorahi. Elohai Neshama shenatata b'teorahi, teorahi. Elohai Neshama shenatata b'teorahi. Elohai Neshama shenatata b'teorahi. Blessings for daily miracles begin on page 198. And since we are a small but mighty crowd and we're doing things differently anyway, we're going to do the blessings, the beginning blessing in Hebrew, and then we're going to sing the English so that we have a sense of what we are praying for when we do this all together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me in the image of God. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me free. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with splendor. Page 204. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah at the bottom of the page. O Adonai, our God, Let the words of Torah be sweet in our mouths and the mouths of your people Israel, so that we, our descendants, and the descendants of all your people Israel may know you by studying your Torah for its own sake. Blessed are you, Adonai, who teaches Torah to your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, hamalamed Torah le'amo Yisrael. Having spoken the blessing for the study of Torah, we're going to study a little Torah by singing the Elu Devarim. These are the things on page 206. Sorry. My bracelet was hitting the guitar. Elu Devarim she'elahem shiur. 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 Ve'eluhim ve'achnasat orchim uvikur chulim ve'achnasat kala ulvayat hamet. Baruch is on page 226. I invite you to stand if you are able. Baruch et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam avad. Oh, I skipped. Let's go. Nah, yeah, I did skip one. You don't know that. You don't have the cue sheet. Page 230, Ahava Rabbah. We sing of the love that Adonai has for us and shows us every day, even though we don't always see it. Ahava Rabbah, Avtanu, Avtanu, Adonai. Anu Adonai Eloheinu Shemra Gedolah V'Tera. I'm sorry. Chamot Aleinu Baruch Atah Adonai Habocher Be'amo Yisrael Be'ahava. Page 232 is the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha V'chol avavecha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavacha hayom alevavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha bevetecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochvecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha ve'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim leolechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim li'olachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem emet. Page 239. And then we're just going to keep going from there. So just keep turning pages. The eternal truth is that you alone are God and there is none else. May the righteous of all nations rejoice in your love and exult in your justice. Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Let nation not lift up sword against nation, nor learn war any more. You shall not hate your brother or sister in your heart. The stranger that sojourns with you shall be accepted as your equal, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor, asks God. We know that the Eternal One defends the poor and upholds the rights of the needy. Praise to God Most High. Blessed is God and deserving of blessing. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, Torah te'ilot osef eleh, shira shivcha v'ru'im, l'shimcha sefat hayam, yachad kulam hodu ve'imlichu ve'ameru, Adonai imoch le'olam va'ed. Tzur Yisrael, kuma bezrat Yisrael, ufteinu mecha, Yehuda ve'Yisrael. Go'alenu Adonai tzvaot shemo, kedosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, תפתחו פי אגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מחלחל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות, ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. Let us sanctify your name on earth. I don't have the right prayer book for this prayer. I'm sorry. All right, we are on page. Thank you. Let us sanctify your name on earth, as it is sanctified in the heavens above. As it is written by your prophet, Holy, holy, holy is Adonai Tzvaot. God's presence fills the whole earth. Source of our strength, sovereign one, how majestic is your presence in all the earth. Blessed is the presence of God shining forth from where God dwells. God alone is our God and our Creator, our ruler and our helper, and in mercy God is revealed in the sight of all the living. I am Adonai, your God. Adonai shall reign forever, your God, O Zion, from generation to generation. Hallelujah. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגידו לך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגידו לך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם, לעולם ועד. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Invite you to continue the prayers in the book or the prayers of your heart silently, and when you are finished, you may return to your seats. service for the reading of Torah begins on page 367 for us. We're going to start with Al Shlosha Dvarim. Be thinking, my friends, if any of you would like to lead the blessings before the Torah. I always have my trusty sidekick here who can do it, my little girl Friday behind the camera. But if there is anyone who is comfortable doing that and would like to, we'll be doing that in a little bit. Al Shlosha Devarim. I invite you to stand if you would like, because that is our custom here of honoring the Torah. Al Shlosha Devarim. Al Shlosha Devarim. Al Shlosha Devarim. Olam obeid. Al Shlosha Devarim. Al Shlosha Devarim. Al Shlosha Devarim. Olam obeid. Al Torah ve'al avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al Torah ve'al avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al Shlosha Devarim. Al Shlosha Devarim. Al Shlosha Devarim. Olam omeid. You may be seated. We're going to do it a little backwards today. Instead of having the devar in front of the reading, we're going to do the reading, and then I'll give you a little tweensy devar. So, Dave, if you would come up for the blessings, they are, unless I don't think somebody else volunteered. Nope. Would you like to come up and do them? You've got to come up to the microphone so that the people at home can hear your dulcet tones. The blessings are on page 368.
All right, so Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher baruch rabanu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Thank you very much. Emily is going to read us our Torah portion. It is on page 1499 in your big red book. We are reading Deuteronomy chapter 24, verses 14 through 19. Some of this, goodness gracious, I do sound like the rabbi. This should sound familiar to you. It's a very famous bit. Oh.
You shall not abuse a needy and destitute laborer, whether a fellow countryman or a stranger in one of the communities of your land. You must pay him his wages on the same day before the sun sets, for he is needy and urgently depends on it. Else he will cry to the Lord against you, and you will incur guilt. Parents shall not be put to death for children, nor children be put to death for parents. A person shall be put to death only for his own crime. You shall not subvert the rights of the stranger or the fatherless. You shall not take a widow's garment in pawn. Remember that you were a slave in Egypt, and that the Lord your God redeemed you from there. Therefore do I enjoin you to observe this commandment. When you reap the harvest in your field and overlook a sheaf in the field, do not turn back to get it. It shall go to the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, in order that the Lord your God may bless you in all your undertakings.
Thank you very much. This is a meaty little passage. How many verses is it? 5 verses? And yet there is so very much in here. And I'm not going to talk long about it. As my friend Warren says, not to insult your intelligence, but hopefully it's pretty obvious what is being said in here. And this reminds me, we were talking about this earlier, about this idea of tell me the whole Torah while standing on one leg. Do not do what is what you don't like. All the rest is commentary. Go study. And I think that this little bit right here really, really encapsulates that. We have right here a nice little guide, not only of how to be a decent human being, a decent individual, but how to be a decent individual who is a member of a community, right? Because we hear over and over again in Judaism, we believe in community. We believe that we are called to live together in community. I personally believe that as human beings, we are meant to be social, to be in a community unit. And we have right here some guidelines of how to take care of each other. Don't abuse the needy. Don't be a jerk to somebody just because they're beneath your station, right? I don't remember who said it, but another quote that I love is, you do not judge a man based on how he treats his equals. You judge a man based on how he treats those who work for him. Or another one that I read recently was someone, when they go for job interviews, they don't actually pay attention necessarily to all the cool things on the resume. They take their interviewees out to dinner, and they don't only pay attention to the resume or how good of a game they talk. What they pay attention to is, how does this person treat the wait staff or the busser, right? Don't abuse a laborer. Doesn't matter if it's a stranger or a member of your community. Don't be mean to somebody. That guy that is holding up the slow down sign on the highway when there's road construction, look, he's just doing his job, man. There is no need for us to take out whatever frustrations we have. And I know it's easy. I come from a long line of frustrated drivers. And I married into another long line of frustrated drivers. So I'm not getting any easement of that from any side. But really, I don't need to be taking that out on the poor guy holding the sign. My uncle actually did that job for a while. And he just has horror stories of people trying to run him off the road, right? He's just holding a little sign to keep you safe. So don't do that, right? Don't do that. Pay fair wages and pay them on time. It's not complicated. This is not, as they say, rocket science or brain surgery. If you hire somebody for a job, if they took the job, they probably need the money. Just pay them what you said they would and pay them on time. If you have signed up for something that you would like to do, and there is a fee involved in that, just pay the fee. Everyone is trying to make a living. Everybody is trying to get on in this world. Just do what you said you would do. Parents shall not be put to death for their children, or children be put to death for their parents. And I think there's a little subtlety here. You know, there's that conversation of nature versus nurture. And it's really easy to be like, oh, that kid's a mess. His parents must be terrible. Well, not necessarily. I think that it serves us well to stand back and not immediately judge the parents based on a child's behavior, nor a child on their parents' behavior. And I will extrapolate this a little bit further, a child based on their siblings, even necessarily, right? As an older sister, my brother hated coming up after me in school because I was a little goody two-shoes. I behaved. I really liked school. I wanted to answer questions. I did everything on time. I was just and he's just like, oh, I have to live up to those standards, because what do we do as people, right? Oh, well, that's Leslie's brother. He must be just like her. And of course he wasn't. And he did not appreciate being treated as if he would be, regardless of how I behaved. So meeting people where they are, I think we can pull out, from that and letting each individual be who they are as opposed to expecting them to be who somebody else is in their sphere. And look, these are not easy things. I'm not going to pretend that it's easy. And I think that we fall off this, and I think that we turn and be like, oh, yeah, I know your mom. Of course you behave like that. Okay, do you know what you have the opportunity to do then? Remind yourself. Remind yourself, oh, I don't have to be that person. I don't have to behave like that. It's not an all or nothing thing. When we mess up, oh, yeah, right, I'm not going to judge people like that anymore. Okay, let me come back at this again. I think that this is on my mind because we're getting ready to start religious school on Sunday. And as I said with the example of my brother, right, education is where we see this, where we have expectations on kids based on their siblings that maybe came up before them or that we have interacted with. So that's really fresh in my mind. You shall not subvert the rights of the stranger or the fatherless. You shall not take a widow's garment in pawn. Don't take advantage of people. Especially don't take advantage of people who are worse off than you are. It's not a good look. It's just not a good look, folks. Remember that you were a slave in Egypt and that the Lord your God redeemed you from there. Therefore, do I enjoin you to observe this commandment. This is said so many times. We said it a little bit earlier, even this morning. Does anybody remember when we said it? You probably weren't looking out for it. I was, because I knew this reading was coming up. In the reading we did just before Michamocha, remember you were slaves in Egypt. We say it at the Passover Seder. It is sprinkled throughout the Torah. Remember, you were slaves. Remember. And then turn around and be kind to people going through the same garbage. Finally, when you reap the harvest in your field and overlook a sheaf in the field, don't turn back and get it. It shall go to the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, in order that your God may bless you in all your undertakings. Give food to people who are hungry. This is this notion, right, of leaving the corners of your fields. And this is the other piece of that, which is when you are doing your harvest, if your thresher missed something or your pickers missed something, don't go back for it. Somebody needs that food. You just leave it there and you go on your way and they will come and get it. We collect food for harvesters, right, in your Rosh Hashanah gift bags when they are coming out. Those are being delivered over this next couple of weeks. You will have in it a bag to fill with food and bring back. It's a big thing. Beth Torah has kind of always been known for feeding the community. And this is where the specificity of that kind of justice and that kind of social action comes from verses like this. Emily and I were talking earlier, and we kind of basically came to this conclusion that the Torah is a really, really long way to say, don't be a jerk. Don't be a jerk. Here's the big book of things not to do. If you want to live in a kind, gentle, loving, successful, supportive society, here's a bunch of stuff not to do. We're even going to give you examples of people who do it and show you how badly it goes for them. And then here are things to do. As much as we want this to be utopia, it's not going to be utopia, and people are going to be hurt. And I can give you one thing to do in this world. In my opinion, I will say this is my opinion, the one thing that I think everyone can do to make this world a better place, be kind. When you approach any situation, approach it with kindness. And ask yourself, what in this moment can I do to be kind? How can I be kind? And I think if we all did that just once a day, even, imagine the heaven that we would create right here on earth. Shabbat Shalom. speaking of those who are in need. Oh, no, the blessings. Thank you. We didn't even do, yeah, go ahead. We're going to do the blessings after the reading of the Torah, because that's what we do.
Real quick here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'dechenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Thank you, Andrew. Now, our thoughts continue to turn to those in need of healing. If you've got somebody on your mind, I invite you, if you're watching from home, to share them in the comments if you're watching on a platform that allows comments. And if you are here in person, I invite you to share the name of your loved ones for whom you seek healing. Know that we are holding in our hearts your needs and the needs of all those that you love. And I'm going to do what I do and encourage you as you are praying the Mishaberach prayer to include yourself. To add the name of Rabbi Javier Kadafan to the Mishaberach list today. I invite you to rise, if you're able, for Eitz Chaim on page 374, the conclusion of our service for the reading of the Torah. And go ahead and stay up because we're going to do Aleinu after that. Eitz Chaim hila machazikim ba v'tomachea meushal terachea Shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Prayers for a better world. We start with the Aleinu on 586, and then we're going to move to V'nei Emar on page 591. Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוסף ראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם hearts. Bayom Ahu, Bayom Ahu, Yeh Adonai Echad. Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo Echad. For our meditation prior to Kaddish, I invite you to join me at the top of page 596. When cherished ties are broken and the chain of love is shattered, only trust and the strength of faith can lighten the heaviness of the heart. At times, the pain of separation seems more than we can bear, but if we dwell too long on our loss, we embitter our hearts and harm ourselves and those about us. The psalmist said that in his affliction he learned the law of God. And in truth, grief is a great teacher when it sends us back to serve and bless the living. We learn how to counsel and comfort those who, like ourselves, are bowed with sorrow. We learn when to keep silent in their presence and when a word will assure them of our love and concern. Thus, even when they are gone, the departed are with us, moving us to live as, in their higher moments, they themselves wished to live. We remember them now. They live in our hearts. They are an abiding blessing. We think of our loved ones now whom death has recently taken from us, and those who died at this season in past years, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. Lois Bopede, Stephen Mark Brown, Anne Sarlinsky, Harry Dubrov, Nancy Kesslern, Mickey Clegg, Rosemary Peterson Adams, Edna Shaw, Howard Shaw, Sarah Lee Steinberg, Jimmy Taylor, Brian Yodler, Robert Zapula, Ross Zucker. Are there any additions or corrections to our list today? If you are at home and have someone you're saying Kaddish for, please feel free to share in the comments. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. I invite you to stand as is your custom, and you are able to recite the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, be'alma divra chirute ve'amlich malchute, b'chayechon u'yamechon u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru amen. Yehe shemei Rabba mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiram be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama Rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. You may be seated. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. This is a Viva song. The announcements are coming, they won't take too long. If you want to do some Jewish, she won't steer you wrong. This is a Viva song.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you to Leslie for leading this service and sharing a little bit more with us of what you're thinking also during services. Woohoo. Thank you to Andrew and Emily for participating in the Torah service as well. and Dave for being here at all times to do all things technical. So thank you. All right, a few quick announcements. First, following the service, join us in the library for Oneg so that we can get this space ready for the first day of religious school. So tomorrow is the first day of religious school, 9 a.m. breakfast, 9:30 a.m. family tefillah, and an open house. So all are welcome, parents, grandparents, anyone and everyone join us. It will be great. We also have a pick-a-party tomorrow, the Antiques Roadshow CBT style with Susan Cohen and Mitchell Krasnopoler. If anyone would like to sign up, just let me know. And then at 3 p.m., we have the JFS service for spiritual renewal at Village Shalom. So there's a lot going on. Take a look in the e-news for all of that information. And last but not least, we launched our small groups last night. So if you would like to participate in 1, 2, 3, or all 13 small groups, Paula and I are here, and the link is online, and we'll be plastering it everywhere after Shabbat. With that, Shabbat Shalom.
I invite you to rise for our closing song. It's on page 662. You might recognize this one. It's a well-known song from this time of year. Shabbat Shalom. Take care of each other out there.